Hey guys, just a quick heads up before this video starts.
Hi, it seems that Akechi-kun and Maruki-kun got a little too invested in their debate during this episode.
Yeah, they went on for like 15 minutes. No kidding. Some of you like me might find it a bit, well, boring.
If you find it hard to enjoy, you can still treat it as ASMR material, since Maruki does have a soothing voice.
What are you two doing there?
Oh shit.
Upsie, bye! So Akechi, how was your morning?
It was fine, I suppose. I went for a jog with Ryuji like usual.
Oh, I see. I should probably get into jogging too, but I'm really not a morning person. I don't know how you do it. So you recovered from the party? You drank a lot. I even got a bit concerned for you, especially when you tried to get home by yourself. I didn't expect this new side of you.
Well, I've recovered. Yes, thank you for your concern. I must admit it was quite the evening. I apologize for my behavior. I don't know what came over me.
Well, I noticed that you were acting really different from your usual self. You seemed really energetic and blunt, which was quite a contrast from the well-mannered and calm detective that I know.
Oh, about that, I didn't mean to make anyone feel uncomfortable.
No, it's all right. It was interesting to see another side of you. To be honest, I personally found it kind of sexy.
Sexy?
Yeah, like when you said,
"Now, Akira, my boy, truth or dare?"
The way you said it was so sensual, so wild. I bet Akira couldn't help but feel totally turned on at that moment.
You really think so?
Absolutely. I mean, when you were dancing, nobody could take their eyes off you. You've got a lot of charm when you let loose like that. It gives a bit of a bad guy vibe, you know?
Thank you, I suppose. You're quite captivating yourself, you know?
Oh, thanks, Akechi. I'm just so happy for you and Akira. So, is it official?
There's nothing official to speak of. It was just a spur-of-the-moment thing, I guess.
Oh, come on. You two were making out for like half an hour. And that message on your cheek? Adorable. He's totally in love with you.
He's just physically attracted to me, I believe. He doesn't always think with his brain, that's all.
He definitely cares for you a lot. He has this look in his eyes. Is it so hard to believe for you, Akechi?
Well, I mean, how can you be sure about those feelings? What if it's just a temporary infatuation?
It's not a recent thing, Akechi. Love grows over time. It's not something that happens overnight and lasts half an hour, you know? You and Akira have been circling around each other for almost a year now. Don't you think it's time for you both to finally be open about what you feel?
I've always been more focused on my work and my goals, so I haven't had much time to think about these things. Besides, until now, most of my relationships were driven by interests rather than affection. I don't really understand how it works.
That's totally understandable, Akechi. But hey, it's never too late to explore your feelings and figure out what you want. I tell you, you and Akira have something really special going on.
You know, Anne, when you put it like that, I can't help but wonder, pardon the childishness of my question, but what is love, really? How would you describe it?
Love can be hard to define, but it's a powerful feeling. Something that makes you feel deeply connected to another person. It's about caring for them, wanting the best for them, and being there through the good times and the bad.
I see. But how do you know when you're experiencing love? How's it supposed to feel, exactly?
Well, some signs might be that you always think about the person, you want to be there for them no matter what, and you just feel happy and content when you're with them.
How do you differentiate love from friendship, then?
Love can be more intense than friendship, I think. It's like friendship mixed with a strong desire to be closer to the person, both emotionally and physically. You might feel butterflies in your stomach, or your heart might race when you're with them, even if there's no physical interaction going on. You feel warmth in your chest, and your mind can go totally blank just by some words they say.
So if I understand correctly, it is a mixture of feelings that make your body and mind react in ways that could resemble fear or anger. Is that what you're saying?
Well, not exactly. Fear and anger are very different emotions, negative ones. Love is a positive feeling, even if it can sometimes make us feel vulnerable or unsure. But I guess you get the adrenaline rush and excitement in both in a way.
Is it possible to both love and hate someone else at the same time?
I think so. It's definitely possible to have conflicting emotions about someone. For example, you might love someone for their qualities, but also feel frustrated or angry with them for certain actions or choices they've made. It can be a confusing mix of feelings. Are you talking about your feelings towards Akira?
To be honest, I'm not entirely sure myself. There are moments when I wouldn't mind reliving what happened at the party, but I find it difficult to let go of my resentment towards him for certain decisions he made. There are times when I simultaneously want to embrace him and punch him in the face.
I see. That sounds a lot like the relationship Ryuji and I share, actually. Emotions can be complex, and it's okay to feel conflicted sometimes. The important thing is to be honest with yourself and Akira and work through those feelings together. Don't be afraid to let yourself feel those emotions, even if it's scary at first.
I have one last question, just out of curiosity. Hypothetically, do you think that people who apparently lack empathy, like serial killers, for example, can experience love?
That's a tough question, Akichi. Love and empathy are definitely related, but they're not exactly the same thing. I think even someone who lacks empathy might be able to feel love in their own way. But it could be a different kind of love than what most people experience, and it might be harder for them to express or fully understand it.
I see. Thank you for your insight, Anne. It gives me a lot to think about.
You know, Akichi, I've been trying to get you and Akira to face your feelings for each other for a while now. I'm actually really proud of what happened the other night, even if it was under the influence.
Akira and I making out makes you feel proud? How so?
I don't really know why, but it gave me a sense of fulfillment I haven't felt in a while. Like I accomplished something important. I haven't come out to my feelings towards Shiho yet, but I think I'll soon gather the courage to do so, thanks to you both.
I understand how it can help you gather your guts to declare your feelings to Suzui-san, but a sense of fulfillment is quite the strong statement. Do you feel this way because you're now actively and openly into the gay rights cause?
Maybe. You know, I've been feeling like something's missing lately, but I couldn't put my finger on it. I feel like I've lost a sense of purpose, like I'm just coasting through life without any real goals or aspirations. It's just strange to feel so lost. I used to feel more motivated to push myself. But seeing you two finally letting go and embracing your feelings at the party, I'm just happy to see you both breaking free from the barriers you've built around yourselves. It's like a breath of fresh air, and even if I didn't do much, I can't help but empathize and feel something strong and genuine for the first time in a while.
That's interesting. It seems like you crave challenges and a sense of accomplishment. Maybe the reason you're not feeling as driven is that everything comes too easily for you now.
You're definitely putting your finger on something there. I remember last year, modeling used to be so challenging for me. I had to work hard to build my portfolio and make a name for myself. I was so intimidated by all the other models. I felt like I had to work 10 times harder just to keep up. But lately, it feels like everything's just falling into place. The gigs keep coming and the photographers seem to love me no matter what I do. It's like I'm not even trying anymore. I'm part of the in crowd and it's almost too easy to stay there. I don't want to lose the drive that got me here in the first place.
Have you ever considered that this sudden ease in your life might not be entirely natural? That perhaps there's something more to it than just good fortune?
What do you mean? Are you saying that my success isn't real, or that I don't deserve it?
No, not at all. You've worked hard, and you absolutely deserve your accomplishments. But doesn't it feel odd that everything suddenly became so easy? Almost as if the world is bending to your will without any effort?
Now that you mention it, it does seem a bit strange. But why would that happen? What's going on?
I can't say for sure, but I think it's important for you to reflect on what is true and what might not be. Sometimes when we're caught up in a situation, it can be hard to see things clearly. Taking a step back and examining your own life might help you find the answers you're looking for.
You're right. I've been so caught up in everything that I haven't taken the time to really think about what's happening. Maybe there's more to this than I realized, but where do I start?
Start by questioning the things that feel too good to be true. Think about the events that led you here and if there's anything that doesn't quite add up.
It's a bit scary to think about, but I guess it's worth a try. I've always trusted my gut, and right now, it's telling me that something's not quite right. I'm going to look into this, Akechi. By the way, sorry to change the subject, but I wanted to ask you. What about Morgana? Is he okay? Why hasn't he come back to LeBlanc?
I see no harm in telling you the truth. Morgana and I are working together on this something feels off feeling. Akira denies there's anything wrong, but Morgana understands the importance of getting to the bottom of this.
Oh, I see. I thought it was because of me.
Well, maybe you should have a talk with him about how you feel, just like you advised me to do with Akira.
Yeah, I should. Thank you.
I'm curious, Akechi-kun, what would your ideal world look like?
Well, it would be a place where justice truly prevails, where people are held accountable for their actions, one where people face their own shadows and grow from their experiences, rather than hiding from them.
How would you ensure justice is upheld in this world, and how do you think people would change in such a world?
I believe that with a strong, incorruptible judicial system, alongside an equally capable law enforcement body, people would be compelled to adhere to the principles of fairness and morality. And by confronting their own darkness, people would become more compassionate and understanding towards others. They'd be more genuine and less likely to put on a false facade.
Do you think everyone would be strong enough to face their shadows?
Not everyone, no. But that's where those with the power to help others should step in. It's our responsibility to support and guide them through their struggles, by accompanying them, not by erasing their pain completely or altering their freedom, and certainly not by controlling everyone without distinction.
You know, Akira-kun explained to me the grip this god of control had on the world before the phantom thieves dealt with him. Not everyone desires complete freedom like you do. If I were to sit idly by and not use my power, what would stop another force from taking my place? Or Yaldabaoth's? Humans can naturally be swayed by negative desires, such as greed or fear. I deeply believe that someone with good intentions providing global guidance for everyone is the best course of action.
You're talking like a true dictator, you know that? But for the sake of our argument, I'll give an objective reply. It's not just about freedom, it's about authenticity and individuality. If everyone is living according to the same guidelines and controlled by the same system, then what sets us apart from one another? What makes us unique and valuable as individuals? Furthermore, who are you to decide what is the right guidance for everyone? What if that guidance conflicts with someone's personal beliefs and values? You need to acknowledge and respect individual differences and allow people to make their own choices, even if it means making mistakes or facing challenges along the way. I believe that true fulfillment comes from discovering one's own path and truth, even if it's not the easiest or most comfortable route. It's not about being free from responsibility or accountability, but about taking ownership of one's life and choices.
You're right. Individuality and authenticity are important, and I believe that there can be a balance between personal freedom and a greater collective good. I don't want to control or manipulate people, but rather guide them towards a more harmonious and fulfilling existence. And while it's true that people may have different beliefs and values, there are certain universal principles that can benefit everyone, such as empathy, compassion, and kindness. And with the power that I have been given, I feel that it's my responsibility to use it for the betterment of all humanity.
But how do you know what people really want? What makes you think that your version of happiness is the right one? You're essentially playing God, Maruki.
My powers allow me to know what people really want. And while I may not have all the answers, I firmly believe that my vision for the world is the right one. Let's consider your situation, Akechi. You've been a victim of injustice yourself, and your path for revenge has caused suffering for many. By clinging to your own experiences and the lessons you've learned, you're prioritizing your personal growth over the well-being of others as well. You must consider the broader implications outside of your personal lessons. Is it fair for everyone else to continue suffering because of your personal desire for a harsh atonement?
It's not selfish to value growth and understanding over false happiness. It's just the objective right thing to do, the way the world is supposed to work for humanity to continue developing itself. It's in the nature of all things to make mistakes and try to correct them to become stronger and more resilient. That's why I say your false reality is nothing more than a house of cards, Maruki. It might look perfect on the surface, but it's built on a foundation of lies and paradoxes. Take a simple and recent example in Morgana. He became human to win Takamaki's heart, yet she still doesn't love him. And you can't make Takamaki love him, because it will conflict with Takamaki's desires. It is proof that you can't make everyone happy without trampling on someone's free will.
I understand that I cannot always control how others react to changes, and in the event of conflicts, I strive to find a resolution that leaves everyone content. However, in Morgana's case, a unique approach is necessary. Ideally, I would like to help him move on from his one-sided love for Anne and find happiness elsewhere. It has come to my attention that my previous assumption regarding Azathoth's powers was mistaken, as they may only work on human beings. I acknowledge that this was an oversight on my part.
There are other oversights in the picture, Maruki. Have you considered the psychological consequences of granting everyone's wishes like you are doing?
Could you please elaborate on what you mean exactly?
By granting everyone's greatest wishes, you rob people of their motivation to work, learn, or grow. After all, many of their goals have already been achieved.
I do not grant everyone's wishes all at once. I fulfill them gradually. This normally gives people time to adjust and find new goals, maintaining their motivation to work and learn.
That's not necessarily true, Maruki. I already noticed that firsthand with Sakamoto or Takamaki. The sudden realization of dreams like this will definitely lead to identity crises and a struggle to find new purpose in life. It could even have the opposite effect of what you're striving to achieve. And more serious mental health issues such as emptiness, depression, and anxiety could arise as people struggle to adapt to those changes. You're a psychologist. You should know that working towards a goal is crucial in someone's development.
I understand that is, indeed, a valid point. I'll try to focus on promoting personal growth by ensuring that wish fulfillment is linked to individuals' efforts or achievements. This will encourage them to continue working on self-improvement and maintain a sense of identity. I'm already working on providing easily accessible resources for mental health support and counseling. This will address any feelings of emptiness, depression, and anxiety they may experience.
All right. That may be a solution for individual concerns, but you're avoiding the elephant in the room, Maruki. By granting everyone's wishes, we risk plunging humanity into a state of self-destruction or even annihilation if their desires conflict with one another or result in irreversible damage to the world. Is that truly the greater good? What about tyrants, dictators, psychopaths?
There are ethical guidelines I settled for wish fulfillment, ensuring that no individual's wish causes harm to others or the environment. This way, I minimize conflicts and prevent self-destruction. I encourage individuals to collaborate on projects, solve common problems, and pursue shared goals.
What about criminals that wish to be freed? How do you deal with them?
When it comes to criminals wishing to be freed, we must consider the impact on society and the need for justice.
So how do you handle their wishes?
I address their wishes by implementing a restorative justice approach. This means that rather than simply granting their freedom, I create opportunities for them to make amends for their actions, demonstrate genuine remorse, and participate in programs aimed at rehabilitation and personal growth.
How do you ensure they don't pose a threat to society?
I closely monitor their progress in the rehabilitation programs and evaluate their readiness for reintegration into society. Only when they've demonstrated positive change and a commitment to leading a law-abiding life would their wish for freedom be considered.
That is what you propose for my case as well. What about potential victims or families affected by their crimes?
I ensure that the needs and wishes of victims and their families are taken into account. The restorative justice process includes facilitating dialogues between the offenders and those affected by their crimes, allowing for healing and closure on both sides. In the most extreme cases, such as murders, I erase their crimes and I rewrite the memories of those involved.
You have an answer to everything, don't you? But can you really do everything you say and do it well? One man can't have this much power. We're talking about the whole world.
I am already doing it, and it goes well. Azathoth's power is fueled by my strength of will and a strong desire to create a perfect world. I would like for us to have a bit of a philosophical debate, if you don't mind. Do you genuinely believe that, of all things, truth is what matters most?
I do. Without the truth, we can't grow or learn from our experiences. We're stuck in an endless loop of stagnation. I'm also pissed off by the fact that you're forcing your beliefs on people who don't even realize they're living in a false reality. They can't make any informed decision on the matter and thus can't refute it. How convenient for you.
You often use the term false reality. Let me ask you this then. How would you define reality?
Reality is the objective truth that exists independent of our perception. It's the way the world is, regardless of how we feel about it.
But isn't perception an integral part of reality as well? Our experiences and emotions shape the way we see the world, and that affects how we interact with it.
Yes, our understanding and interpretation of reality can be influenced by our individual perspectives and experiences, which can lead to seeing the world in a more positive or negative light. But that doesn't change the underlying reality.
Then how can we be certain that something is real or is not, if there is nobody at all to perceive it?
If there is nobody at all to perceive something, then yes, it is impossible to know for certain whether it exists or not. However, even if it is imperceptible, there may still be physical evidence or traces of its existence, such as in the form of natural phenomena, paradoxes, or patterns. I see where you're coming at, though, and I admit I'm finally starting to enjoy this debate.
Me too, Akechi-kun. Let me give you an example. What if you were to discover that everything you've known so far was part of a story or a game, that even what you consider to be the true world is nothing but fiction?
That's an absurd idea, Maruki. But even if that were the case, I'd rather face the truth than willingly enjoy a delusion.
And if that truth led you to an even greater despair? If it revealed that your entire existence, your struggles, your victories, were nothing more than a scripted narrative? I ask you to genuinely consider this theory and develop your thoughts process if you were to discover this truth.
It would mean that the truth was never on my side, that I would have been born of deceit, a pawn in a greater scheme beyond my comprehension. My every emotion, every ambition, and every struggle scripted with a predetermined outcome that I could never hope to change. It would mean that I would be a puppet, my strings manipulated by unseen hands. If everything was scripted, then why was I forced to suffer, to endure so much pain? Would it be some sort of sadistic joke? What purpose would this serve? How could I then ever trust my thoughts or feelings again, knowing that they were never truly my own? Could I then even claim to have a heart or a soul? The thought that I, who fought so fervently for the truth, would be deceived by it all along would be an unbearable weight on my consciousness. I would probably want to scream, to rage against the injustice of it all. But how would I be able to, when even that would likely be written in some script somewhere? I would feel a twisted sense of irony. In my quest to expose your false reality, I would have been oblivious to the very foundation of my own existence. And in the end, it would be like the only truth I would find would be the hollowness of it all, The cruel realization that I am just a character in someone else's story. There would be nothing left to fight for. But it would be the truth. And there would be nothing I could do about it but to accept it or die, if dying was even possible in this scenario. It is a frightening possibility, but very unlikely to be true.
That was very interesting, Akechi-kun. Thank you for giving me your honest insight. I respect and even admire how deeply you value the truth. Despite this irrefutable possibility of being a fictional character, however, you are still holding on to the idea of a reality in which free will is present. How can you be certain that you, or anyone else, ever had free will to begin with?
The idea of free will is indeed a complex and debated topic in philosophy. Without even dwelling into absurd ideas like the one you propose, some argue that our actions are predetermined by fate or determinism, while others argue that we have the ability to make choices that are not predetermined by outside forces. While I will admit that it is impossible to prove objectively whether or not I have free will, the personal and subjective experience of having control over my actions is crucial in the matter of understanding myself and my place in the world.
Indeed. Such questions may be impossible to answer if we are not aware of the things that we cannot perceive. This concept forms the basis of the reality that I am trying to create, Akechi. While I understand that you hold truth in high regard, it's important to consider that the truth you value may not be as objectively defined as you think.
You make a valid point that I cannot refute directly. However, it is my personal belief that it is important to strive for as much accuracy and objectivity as possible in our understanding of the world. This allows us to make informed decisions and take responsible actions based on the best available evidence. I won't gamble my beliefs on a possibility, a preposterous possibility.
I'm simply asking you to consider that there may be more to the truth than you've realized. There is no guarantee that the world you consider real is any less illusory than the one I've created. If I had changed your memories as well, you would be completely oblivious to the fact that you're living in an altered reality.
I suppose so, but I am unaltered. And I'll always fight for the world I myself know is the true one.
You are fascinating, Akechi.
If I had to be honest, I'd say that I enjoyed this debate a lot more than I would care to admit, despite the underlying threat.
So, Akechi-kun, I've heard quite a bit about you from Makoto and Sei. It's not every day that one gets to meet the famous Detective Prince.
Thank you, Najima-san. It's an honor to be invited to your home, I must say. This sushi is delicious. I also wanted to personally congratulate you on receiving the Superintendent General Award.
Thank you. It was quite an unexpected honor. I must say I'm impressed with your accomplishments as well. Your reputation speaks of remarkable intuition and impressive analytical skills at such a young age.
Thank you, Najima-san. I've been fortunate to work with some great people and have learned a lot from them.
What have you been up to lately? I heard you were working at a detective agency.
Yes, I was working under Iwao Amari, but things didn't go so well. He wasn't exactly the most considerate boss, and we had a disagreement that led to my dismissal.
Ah, Iwao Amari, you say? I'm familiar with his father. It's no surprise that he had privileged his son. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, it seems.
It's unfortunate, but that's how it is sometimes. I'm just glad to be moving forward. How about you, Sei-san? How is work going for you?
It's been quite busy, but I enjoy it. I've been handling a number of high-profile cases lately, and it's both challenging and rewarding. That right defense attorney had me lose a case last week, but the defendant was truly innocent. I'm still filling out the paperwork.
You can't always win, can you, sis?
Speaking of which, I've been working on a case lately, and I could use a fresh perspective. Would you be willing to lend me a hand, Akechi-kun?
I would be honored, Najima-san. I'm always eager to put my skills to good use.
This case has some peculiar aspects. A witness claims to have seen the murder, but when we investigated further, the supposed victim was alive and well.
That's quite strange. How could the witness be so certain about the murder if it never happened?
Indeed, it is an intriguing case. It's possible that the witness was mistaken or perhaps was hallucinating.
That's what I initially thought, but the witness has been very consistent in their story. They even provided specific details about the crime scene that would be difficult to fabricate. Moreover, the evidence discovered at the scene suggests foul play, as if someone is attempting to conceal the truth. What's puzzling is that this is not the first case with such inconsistencies lately. There have been instances of seemingly tampered camera footage, as well as disappearing evidence and witnesses providing conflicting testimonies, making the cases difficult to solve. I'm beginning to wonder if they might all be connected in some way.
I have been dealing with such oddities myself. It's becoming concerning, but I haven't considered the broader implications yet.
Something else might indeed be at play here. Consider the facts. A reliable witness, a victim who's alive, and evidence with too many inconsistencies. It's as if someone is altering people's memories, or even the reality itself. In any case, it's essential to gather all the facts and examine the evidence closely before drawing any conclusions. If you allow me to help you in the investigation of this case, I would be honored to share my findings with you.
That's quite the bold theory. I appreciate your input, Akechi-kun. I'll make sure to keep you updated on our findings. As I understand it, you are currently unemployed, correct? Have you ever considered joining the police force? Your talents would undoubtedly be an incredible asset to our team.
You're always looking for new talent, aren't you?
Ha! I can't help it, Makoto. When I see such potential, I want to do everything I can to nurture it and help it grow.
That's an interesting proposition. Working with the police would certainly give me the opportunity to serve the greater good.
Akechi, while my father's proposal is certainly worth considering, I have another idea for you. How about becoming my assistant? As a prosecutor, I can't stress enough how valuable your skills would be to me. Your expertise in deciphering the truth behind criminal cases would be indispensable. And together, we could make a real difference in our fight against crime. We've already worked together, and you won't need to prove your value to me.
Ah, that's an intriguing offer as well, Sei-san. I must admit it would be fascinating to delve into the legal side of things and understand the intricacies of building cases.
I think you'd do great in either role, Akechi-kun. No matter which path you choose, you'll be contributing to making the world a better place. But you know, I've been thinking, you're so talented. Have you considered attending university as well? It could open up even more opportunities for you.
While attending university could indeed offer valuable opportunities, I believe I learn best through hands-on experience.
We know you have a lot to think about, but if you're interested in working with the police, I could introduce you to some of my colleagues. They are most likely more aligned with your work ethics than Amari's son was.
Thank you, Najima-san. I'm truly honored to receive such generous offers from both of you. It's quite a difficult decision to make. I'll definitely need some time to think it over and weigh my options, but rest assured, I genuinely appreciate the confidence you both have placed in me.
We're looking forward to hearing your decision, Akechi-kun. Whichever path you choose, I'm sure you'll excel.
That's right. In any case, you're always welcome here, Akechi-kun. Now let's enjoy this delicious sushi. I know you can't stay for too long.
Yes, he has a date, hasn't he?
Not exactly a date. Let's say a late meeting.
You look tired. Long day?
It was all right. I mostly ran errands and hung out for a bit. How about you?
The usual. I worked at the flower shop, spent some time with Hifumi, and then went back to the cafe to clean up.
Hifumi, the shogi player, right?
Yeah, you'd like her. She's quite intelligent.
You really have friends from all walks of life. I've been trying not to isolate myself as I used to, but you...
Yes, I've noticed. It seems you've come to appreciate the importance of bonds.
Indeed, I've come to understand their value. But there's something I've been meaning to ask you. How do you manage to have so many friends and show so much care for each of them?
Well, it's my little secret. I'm a shapeshifter, the master of deception. I am the Joker, the embodiment of everyone's desires, a mirror reflecting what they want to see. I indulge in their chatter, making them believe I genuinely care. When I'm done, they feel happier than ever before, and they never see it coming. That's how skillful I am. And that's how lonely I was, until I met someone capable of seeing through my countless masks. To discover the blank canvas that is my true self, with only a brief background story. A criminal living in an attic. Quiet, yet possessing the courage and determination to take action. A thing that doesn't allow itself to be enslaved by human relations or past selves, even if my heart isn't so free anymore. Regardless of the reality I find myself in, I exist solely within your gaze. Losing you made me realize it.
You might feel butterflies in your stomach, or your heart might race when you're with them, even if there's no physical interaction going on. You feel warmth in your chest, and your mind can go totally blank just by some words they say.
Welcome home. You're back late.
I'm home. Sushi, as promised.
Thank you. How was your day?
I go shower.
Fuck all this! Fuck Maruki! Fuck Akira!
Fuck all this. Fuck Maruki. Fuck Akira. Fuck you.